Hello, my name is Rai, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome to the next part in our series of going over Set 1 support cards for my trading card game, Battle Course TCG. So make sure to do all the YouTube stuff as you know, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, so I can continue making this stuff. And also, if you'd like, maybe you can look at some of the cards ahead of time of what I'm going over, and you could even comment on them and I can point it out or whatever if that sounds interesting. I think that'd be fun, just to give a bit more feedback to y'all or whatever during these videos. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the first card. And the first card is here, Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm is a price 2 field card with the effect that says plasma monsters gain +2/+1. So +2 power and +1 armor. Okay, so price 2 for field cards is a little pricey, but it's because this gives the highest stat bonus out of any of the field cards as of set 1. But it doesn't give any sort of effect change. And it is a field card, so it stays on the board, so it'll just constantly be affecting stuff, but there's not a whole lot of plasma support. Like, yes, you have the amazing matter tracer, but like the main deck card or main deck monsters that you have to work with Thunderstorm are stuff like Ultaberry and where is it? Here it is. Get out of here. Is Beast of Hunger. And that's 2. Usually you want a bit more than 2, and I'm just scrolling through to make sure. Yep, that's everything for set 1. It's just those 2 cards. So, as of right now, kind of lacking for plasma monsters to buff with this. 2 main deck, and then 1 admittedly really good legend card, which is the one main redeeming factor, but it's just kind of slow, and it doesn't give much more than the stat boost, because it doesn't even affect the effect or anything like a lot of the others do. With Tree Vitality giving survival, and Starve Ruin may not affect the effects of the cards, but it does reduce their price, which is actually probably better than changing the effect in a lot of cases, especially with these earlier cards. So it's just kind of lackluster for what you want to run, because there's no way of just cheating it out like you have with Whirlwind of Restoration, the other main price 2 field card of set 1. There's no real way of cheating it out or anything to get around the higher price, and similar to Whirlwind of Restoration, because of how few there are, or because of the few number of cards that are actually going to be able to work with this, and the just about complete lack of support for it, which isn't as important in set 1, but going into set 2 and onward, you want support specifically for the field card a lot of the time. It kind of just leaves this card be a little lackluster. I will say that it does get better later on, but that is, if I remember correctly, all the way in set 3 when it really starts seeing a lot more support. It does get more support in set 2, but the really influential stuff seems to come more so in set 3, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, so that's Thunderstorm. A little unfortunate with that, but it's something to consider, since the cards that it does affect, primarily being Beast of Hunger and Matter Tracer, are really good plasma monsters. And of course Ultaberry is there if you want it. But yeah, so, and yeah, Ultaberry isn't bad actually. It can search out its, other copies of itself or whatever. But anyway, so that's Thunderstorm. Not a whole lot else to say about it. Something I have a similar amount to say about is Boulder Maker's Mask. Boulder Maker's Mask, I feel like, becomes a bit more viable in set 2 when the main field card for Earth monsters is released, so it actually, you know, it's a bit better to actually be an Earth monster and it matters more. Is in set 2 with Mountain of the Giants. This card, Mountain of the Giants. But this isn't set 2 yet. We're still going over set 1, so as of set 1, sure, it changes to Earth type, but that doesn't really help. So the main thing that you'd be running this for is giving +2/+3. So not like a massive buff, but it's very noticeable. Yeah, Boulder Maker's Mask is a price 3 item card, because I just realized I hadn't even gone over it. Price 3 item card that says equipped monster, or the equipped monster is Earth type and gains +2/+3. So just changes that elemental typing. It's not bad necessarily. It's just it doesn't really do much beyond this. You know, it doesn't have a whole lot of other use. Like I said, it does get more usable in set 2. But as of set 1, it's just like an alright card, you know. It's able to like give a quite a noticeable bump up in stats to a particular card. And so if you're running a powerful card, something like, I don't know, Matter Tracer or some other bigger card, you know, something like that, then it could be worth it, and it would definitely make a pretty big difference, but there's really not all that much else to say about it. So we'll go on to the next card, and that card is Revolt. Honestly, I love this card. Not because necessarily it's amazing, but I just really like the card. Revolt is a price 1 boost card that gives +1/+1 to your tokens. Tokens are like pseudo monster cards. They're monster cards without physical cards, and they only exist when in play. You'll see more of like a description in the rules for like what a token is and whatnot, but typically they're just like monsters made through card effects. So the main example is one of the next cards, Minibots, making a token, and card like Rogue Bulb that is able to summon, you know, 2 light elemental tokens that are 0/1s, you know. It's basically just little monster. Oh, and Gabo Horde. It's basically just monsters that are made through card effects instead of through an actual monster card. They don't have a physical monster card, like a physical card representation of them. They're just made through card effect. And tokens, through Revolt, will all be given +1/+1. So that's pretty strong. And so if you're running a token-based strategy, which there isn't a whole lot of support for, they get more support over time, but it's I don't know if it ever gets to the point where it's enough to really make a whole strategy around it. Honestly, I haven't really played personally a ton with token-based strategies. I know the little combo of Space Craftsman and Minibots and Superior Construction is a cool little combo, and this card works with those as well. Even though Superior Construction is kind of just taking the place of the Revolt, because Minibots makes robot type 1/1 tokens with active, and so they'd be affected by this because they're robot type sort of monsters. But Revolt works just as well with them as well as with anything else that makes tokens. Another great example of something that makes tokens is something like the slimes with Duplicate. How Duplicate works is you make a token copy of the main card, just without Duplicate, unless it's like in an effect or something. So all of those cards would be buffed by stuff like Revolt. Because they're all tokens, and that's really good, especially when you make a decent board of tokens. You can just instantly buff them all and make them significantly more threatening. I love the card, it's a lot of fun. It doesn't really do much else besides what it says on the box, but it's a fun card if you are running tokens, you know, a consideration to run some. The next card is the aforementioned Superior Construction. Superior Construction is a boost card. It's a price 1 boost card, and it gives +1/+1 to your active robot monsters. I went over this card and the next card, Minibots, in the last video going over set 1's monster cards, because in that video I went over Space Craftsman because it was the last one, and that's the main enabling card for the whole Minibots and Superior Constructions combo. So if you want to see a ton of detail on the exact combo, watch that video and watch me go over this card. But I'll kind of just be going over them more so on their own in this video, since I already discussed the main use case for them. But yeah, so Superior Construction, like I said, price 1 boost card, and it gives +1/+1, so +1 power and armor to your active robot monsters, so all of your robot monsters in play. So there's not a whole lot of robots right now in set 1. There's pretty much just Minibots, which makes the tokens, and Box Shock, which is not a great card, to be honest. And that's, I'm pretty sure, literally it. Like, that's all there is for set 1 robot. More are made later on, but the main thing you'd be running this with is that Space Craftsman combo. But yeah, it's really good in that combo, but outside of that, it's not super influential. Like I said, later on they get more cards, and so eventually maybe there will be enough for a whole robot strategy or something, and then this card could be good in it. I don't know, but we'll just have to see. And the next card is, again, the aforementioned Minibots. Minibots is a price 3 boost card that allows you to, and it's worded a little strangely in comparison to how I word these kind of card effects now. So I'll read it as it's written and then explain how it works. It says summon 3 robot tokens, and in the parentheses next to tokens it says 1/1 active. So it's basically saying you're making 3 tokens that are robot type and have the stats 1/1, so 1 power, 1 armor, and they have the effect active. The way they're worded doesn't change a whole lot, you know, going forward, but it does change a little bit to kind of include the typings in a better way, I think. I don't know if I made that change for the... Yes, I did. Or no, wait, maybe I didn't. No, I hadn't changed it by then. Later on, I'm pretty sure I change it to make more sense. But yeah. Anyway. But you're just making 3 tokens that are robot type. You know, they're 1/1 and they have active, and that's it. So you're just making 3 1/1s with active, pretty much. Like I said, great combo, Superior Construction to buff them all up to being 2/2s. It's really, really strong. But yeah, that's Minibots. Honestly, I love the Space Craftsman combo. Especially if you're just playing with some friends, I would consider running it. It's a lot of fun. You know, go for it. And it's actually pretty good. You know, I've had times where I would have lost the game if I didn't pull off that, or if I didn't do that, you know, that turn. But anyway. And the next card is Ring of Power. Ring of Power is a price 0 item card that gives +1/+0 It is one of the simplest cards in the entire game. It just simply gives one of your monsters an additional power. That's it. There's not a whole lot to say about the card itself in the sense of like how it works or its use cases or what it does or whatever. The main thing I have to say about it is that Ring of Power is one of the best cards in the game, just because of how generic and good it is. It's price 0, like every quality about it is really solid. It's price 0. You don't need to pay anything to use it, you know? And then it's an item card, so you equip it onto something, which doesn't necessarily make it better or worse, but its effect gives +1/+0. That's a really solid effect. There's no downside there, there's no nothing else, it's very simple. It just gives an extra power, and that extra power is a lot more influential than you may think, because there's quite a few good cards that just have 0 power. I'm mainly thinking about your boy Wuggletez. I've had times where I just have a Wuggletez sitting on the board doing nothing, and the opponent's just ignoring it because of course they are. I have other more threatening things on the board to focus on, and I draw into my Ring of Power, I just throw it on the Wuggletez, and oh look, now it's a 1/1. Now it's able to actually make me progress. Now it's able to do stuff after doing the Alien Engine, and getting out the Matter Tracer. Now I can do more things with it because of Ring of Power. And like I said, it's very simple, but it's so generic and so useful in so many different situations. Even outside of something like that, you know, you can just simply make a card hit harder for free. It's great. It's an amazing card, and it fits in any strategy, and especially in set 1, I would consider running it. And because it's so easy to get your hands on, you can pretty easily get a playset and throw it in the deck and just play the game and have fun. It's a really, really solid card. I love the card. In spite of its incredible simplicity, because it is incredibly simple. But yeah, great card. Love it. Very simple, but simply good. And yeah, run it. And as you can see, with this being the last card in set 1, this being the first card in set 2, this is the last support card for set 1. So we have officially finished the support cards for set 1, so that's exciting. So yeah, so now I will be starting the series of going over set 1's legend cards, and then we'll be able to get into mini set 1 and go on from there. So thank you all for watching. If you watched this far, type in, I don't know, Ring of Power in the comments below or something like that. And yeah, hope that you all have a blessed day, and fare thee well.